ma'am.
Monty Python's And Now for Something Completely Different, 1971, was the debut film of the legendary comedy troupe Monty Python, known for its unique blend of satire, dark humor, and surreal creativity. This film brings together some of the most iconic sketches from their hit television series, Monty Python's Flying Circus, featuring stars like John Cleese, Graham Chapman, Eric Idle, and Michael Palin. It became a timeless source of laughter for generations. Join us as we look back at these comedy icons, how they've changed, where their careers have taken them, and the lasting legacy they've created in the world of comedy. Graham Chapman, who portrayed the character Brother in Monty Python's And Now for Something Completely Different, 1971, at the age of 30, was a pioneering figure in the world of comedy and one of the founding members of Monty Python. Born on January 8, 1941 in Leicester, England, Chapman was raised in a middle-class family. His father, Walter Chapman, was a strict and somewhat distant figure, while his mother, Beatrice, was a school teacher. Chapman attended the prestigious Leicester Grammar School and later went on to study medicine at Emmanuel College, Cambridge, where he developed a passion for comedy and met future Monty Python collaborators, including John Cleese, Eric Idle, and Michael Palin. Chapman's role in Monty Python's And Now for Something Completely Different helped solidify his place as a leading comedic force. He played a variety of roles on the show, including his memorable performances as the ever-serious Reg in the Upper-Class Twit of the Year sketch, and as King Arthur in Monty Python and the Holy Grail, 1975, which remains one of the most iconic films in comedy history. Chapman's impeccable timing, mastery of physical comedy, and ability to blend highbrow humor with the absurd made him a standout member of the ensemble. Despite his professional success, Chapman faced personal struggles, particularly with alcohol. He was known to be a heavy drinker, and his struggles with addiction were a recurring theme in his life. His battle with alcohol ultimately had a profound impact on his health, and it was something he would openly address later in his life. His personal issues were a source of tension for some of the other Pythons, but they also influenced his work, contributing to the darker, more introspective elements of his comedy. Chapman was openly gay, a fact that was not widely discussed in the public eye at the time. He was in a long-term relationship with David Sherlock, his partner of several years, and the two were known to be devoted to one another. However, Chapman's sexuality and the challenges it posed during his time in the spotlight were aspects of his personal life that he sometimes struggled to reconcile with his public persona. In terms of family, Chapman came from a relatively distant relationship with his own parents, and his family life was often marked by a sense of isolation. He was very close with his fellow Pythons, though, particularly Cleese, with whom he shared a deep bond and collaborated on many of the group's most famous works. Tragically, Chapman's life was cut short when he was diagnosed with throat cancer in 1989. Despite undergoing treatment, he passed away on October 4, 1989, at the age of 48. His death was a devastating blow to the Monty Python community, as well as to the world of comedy. Eric Idle, born on March 29, 1943 in South Shields, England, is another key member of the legendary Monty Python troupe. When he appeared as the prosecutor in Monty Python's And Now for Something Completely Different, 1971, he was 28 years old. Known for his sharp wit, musical talent, and unique comedic style, Idle became one of the most prominent voices in Monty Python, contributing numerous memorable skits, songs, and performances. His ability to seamlessly combine humor with music was a defining feature of his work, and he was the writer of some of the troupe's most famous songs, including the iconic Always Look on the Bright Side of Life from Monty Python's Life of Brian, 1979. In addition to his contributions to Monty Python, Eric Idle had a successful solo career. His ability to blend comedy with music continued to serve him well, and he released several successful musical comedy albums. He was also involved in writing and performing in numerous television and stage productions, including the popular Spinal Tap mockumentary film and The Ruttles, a comedic tribute to the Beatles that he co-created. His solo work includes Eric Idle's The Greedy Bastard Diary, 2004, and Not the Messiah, He's a Very Naughty Boy, 2007, a musical comedy inspired by Life of Brian. As for his personal life, Idle's relationships have been relatively public. He married his first wife, Terry Jones's sister, in 1969, but the couple eventually divorced. In 1981, he married Kimberly S. McKinnon, with whom he has one child, a daughter named Lily Idle. The couple's marriage has been much more stable, with Idle often speaking fondly of his family life. Despite his high-profile career, he has largely maintained a private and relatively grounded personal life, and his relationship with his daughter has been described as very close. However, Eric Idle also experienced some challenges. One of the most profound personal tragedies in his life was the sudden death of his Monty Python colleague and dear friend, Graham Chapman, in 1989. Idle was deeply affected by Chapman's passing, having known him for many years, and has spoken about how it changed his perspective on life and death. Another difficult moment came in 2001 when he underwent open-heart surgery, which forced him to slow down and reevaluate his priorities. Today, Eric Idle is 81 years old and still remains an active figure in comedy, music, and writing. He continues to perform, write, and make occasional appearances in Monty Python reunions and retrospectives. Despite his age, Idle shows no sign of slowing down, and his contributions to comedy and popular culture continue to be celebrated by fans around the world. He has maintained his residence in the United States, where he lives with his wife Kimberly, and remains a beloved figure in the comedy world. John Cleese, who played the announcer in Monty Python's And Now for Something Completely Different, 1971, at the age of 32, is one of Britain's most iconic comedians and actors, known for his sharp wit and unique brand of surreal humor. Born on October 27, 1939, in Weston-super-Mare, Somerset, England, Cleese grew up in a strict household. His father, Reginald Francis Cleese, was an insurance salesman, and his mother, Muriel Evelyn, was often noted as overprotective and demanding. As a child, Cleese excelled academically and attended Clifton College, Bristol, and later the University of Cambridge, where he read law. It was at Cambridge that Cleese's comedic career began to take shape. He joined the prestigious Cambridge Footlights, meeting future collaborators such as Graham Chapman, with whom he would co-create Monty Python's Flying Circus, which debuted in 1969. After completing university, Cleese's early career included writing and performing in various British comedy shows before the groundbreaking success of Monty Python's Flying Circus. The show's innovative style revolutionized comedy, and Cleese's skits, especially his portrayal of the annoyed man in the Argument Clinic and Dead Parrot sketches, became legendary. Following Monty Python, Cleese went on to create and star in Fawlty Towers, 1975 to 1979, where he played the iconic Basil Fawlty. The series, known for its sharp writing and complex humor, remains one of Britain's most beloved sitcoms. Cleese has been married 4 times. His first marriage, in 1968, was to actress Connie Booth, his co-writer and co-star in Fawlty Towers. The couple had one daughter, Cynthia, born in 1971, but they divorced in 1978. He later married American actress Barbara Trentham, with whom he had a daughter, Camilla, born in 1979-1984. This marriage ended in 1990. Cleese's third marriage, to psychotherapist Alice Faye Eichelberger, ended in a highly publicized and costly divorce in 2008. He later married Jennifer Wade, a jewelry designer, in 2012, and the couple has remained together since. though Cleese has spoken openly about the challenges of sustaining relationships. Throughout his life, Cleese has faced both personal and professional struggles. The death of his close friend and fellow Python, Graham Chapman, in 1989 was a deeply painful experience for Cleese. Additionally, his financial challenges due to high divorce settlements brought significant strain, leading him to take on numerous acting roles to cover costs. Despite these challenges, Cleese has continued to work, writing books, appearing in films, and performing live shows well into his later years. Now aged 85, Cleese remains active in entertainment, recently returning to stand-up comedy tours and working on various writing projects. His recent work includes advocacy on free speech and critiques on political correctness, and he currently resides with his wife, Jennifer Wade, enjoying a quieter life in the UK, while remaining a beloved and influential figure in comedy. Carol Cleveland, born on January 13, 1942 in London, England, is best known for her roles in Monty Python's Flying Circus and Monty Python's And Now for Something Completely Different, 1971, where she portrayed Deirdre Pewty, among other memorable characters. At the time of her involvement in the film, Cleveland was 29 years old and had already begun to establish herself as a key female performer in the male-dominated comedy world of Monty Python. Cleveland's involvement with the group went beyond just acting. She became a trusted collaborator, appearing in several Python films and skits throughout the years. As a female performer in Monty Python, Cleveland played a significant role in challenging the gender dynamics of the time. She was often cast in comedic and satirical roles that defied traditional female stereotypes, portraying characters that were both absurd and empowered. Her humor was distinct, marked by her sharp timing and ability to turn seemingly ordinary situations into something hilarious. In addition to her work with Monty Python, Cleveland appeared in numerous television shows and films, including The Great Muppet Caper, 1981, The Strangers, 1971, and Fawlty Towers, 1975, further showcasing her comedic talents. On the personal side, Cleveland's love life has been marked by a sense of privacy, and little is known about her romantic relationships, as she has generally kept her personal life out of the public eye. She was married to John Cleese, one of the other Pythons, from 1968 to 1978, a union that was part of the dynamics of the group, but eventually ended in divorce. Despite their separation, Cleveland and Cleese have remained on good terms, and she has spoken fondly of their time together. The couple has one child, a daughter named Cynthia Cleese, who later followed in her mother's footsteps and pursued a career in acting. Carol Cleveland experienced both triumphs and challenges during her career, particularly as one of the few women in a predominantly male comedy troupe like Monty Python. However, her contributions to the group's success have been invaluable. She often expressed how proud she was to have been part of Python, considering it a high point of her career, and she became a key figure in the group's legacy, even when she was not at the forefront of every sketch. In terms of personal challenges, one of Cleveland's most significant obstacles was the difficulty of being a woman in the male-dominated world of comedy, especially during the early years of Monty Python's rise. Yet, she managed to carve out a space for herself through her talent, wit, and ability to hold her own alongside the group's more established male stars. Her continued dedication to her craft over the years also showed resilience, and her work remains a source of inspiration for new generations of comedians and actors. As of 2024, Carol Cleveland is 82 years old. While she has largely stepped away from the limelight in recent years, she remains an enduring figure in comedy. Michael Palin, who portrayed the character Gumby in Monty Python's And Now for Something Completely Different, 1971, at the age of 28, is another cornerstone of the Monty Python troupe. Born on May 5, 1943, in Broomhill, Sheffield, England, Palin grew up in a middle-class family. His father, Edward Palin was an industrial engineer, and his mother, Mary, was a housewife. Palin attended Shrewsbury School, a prestigious private school, and later studied at the University of Oxford, where he earned a degree in modern history. It was during his time at Oxford that Palin became involved in comedy, joining the Oxford Revue and meeting fellow comedian Terry Jones, another future Python member. After university, Palin began his career in television and comedy, writing for shows such as The Frost Report and Do Not Adjust Your Set, where he met the other future Pythons, including John Cleese and Eric Idle. The success of Monty Python's Flying Circus, which first aired in 1969, propelled Palin into international stardom. Known for his versatility, Palin played a variety of characters in the show, from the absurd to the satirical, and became particularly beloved for his childlike and often innocent portrayals, like the Gumby character he played in And Now for Something Completely Different. His work on the show cemented him as one of the leading figures in British comedy. Palin's personal life has been stable and relatively private compared to some of his fellow Pythons. In 1966, he married his college sweetheart Helen Gibbons, a teacher, and the couple has 3 children: Thomas, born 1970, William, born 1974, and Rachel, born 1975. The family has remained close-knit, with Palin often speaking about his deep affection for his wife and children. Palin's marriage to Helen, which has lasted for over 5 decades, stands as one of the more enduring relationships in the world of British comedy. Throughout his life, Palin has faced relatively few personal tragedies compared to some of his colleagues, but he did suffer the loss of his beloved father in the early 1970s, which affected him deeply. He has also spoken candidly about the pressures of fame and the challenges of balancing his creative work with family life, especially during the intense periods of filming for Monty Python and his travel documentaries. At the age of 81, Palin continues to enjoy an active and fulfilling career. While he is no longer involved in the constant touring and filming of his earlier years, he remains a highly respected figure in the entertainment industry. He continues to write books, both autobiographical and fictional, and frequently makes public appearances. In his personal life, Palin lives in London with his wife Helen, where they enjoy a peaceful life together, with Palin remaining a beloved and cherished icon in the world of comedy, travel, and literature. Terry Jones, born on February 1, 1942 in Colwyn Bay, Wales, was one of the founding members of the iconic comedy group Monty Python. When he appeared as the stage manager in Monty Python's And Now for Something Completely Different, 1971, he was 29 years old. Jones was renowned for his ability to combine slapstick comedy with intellectual humor, becoming one of the most versatile and beloved figures within Monty Python. He was not only a talented performer, but also an exceptional writer and director, contributing immensely to the creation of the group's unique comedic style. In addition to his work as a performer, Jones was integral to the writing and direction of Monty Python's television series, Monty Python's Flying Circus, as well as several of their films, including Monty Python and the Holy Grail, 1975, and Life of Brian, 1979. He co-directed Monty Python's Life of Brian, a film widely regarded as one of the greatest comedies ever made, and directed the group's surreal comedy The Meaning of Life, 1983. Jones's direction and influence were critical in shaping the absurd and satirical tone that became synonymous with Monty Python. Jones was also a gifted writer, publishing several books, including works on history, politics, and philosophy, often using humor to explore these subjects. In addition to his literary work, Jones was a passionate advocate for social issues, and his career demonstrated a strong interest in challenging societal norms and expectations, particularly through satire. On the personal front, Terry Jones's life was marked by his relationships and family. He married Alison Telfer in 1970, and the couple had 2 children together, a son, Bill Jones, and a daughter, Sally Jones. However, their marriage ended in divorce in 2009. In 2012, Jones remarried, this time to Lynn R. Jones, a longtime friend with whom he spent the later years of his life. Tragedy struck in 2015 when Jones was diagnosed with a rare form of dementia, primary progressive aphasia, which affects language and cognitive abilities. His condition gradually worsened over the years, but his family and close friends rallied around him, providing support. Despite his health challenges, Jones continued to be involved in various projects, including writing and making occasional appearances, until he became less able to participate in public life. His diagnosis and decline deeply affected his fans and fellow Monty Python members, all of whom shared a deep affection and respect for him. Terry Jones passed away on January 21, 2020, at the age of 77, leaving behind a profound legacy in the world of comedy. His death was a great loss to the entertainment industry, and tributes poured in from all over the world, with many highlighting his genius, wit, and ability to inspire generations of comedians. Terry Gilliam, born on November 22, 1940, in Minneapolis, Minnesota, USA, is a multifaceted artist known for his work as a writer, animator, and director in the legendary British comedy troupe Monty Python. When he appeared as the self-defense nun in Monty Python's And Now for Something Completely Different, 1971, he was 31 years old. Gilliam was the only American member of Monty Python and is renowned for his groundbreaking animation sequences, which became an iconic feature of the group's absurd and satirical humor. His quirky, surreal style helped define the visual identity of Monty Python's flying circus, making it unlike any other comedy show at the time. Gilliam's creative genius extended into his work as a director. His first feature film, Brazil, 1985, became an instant cult classic, blending dystopian themes with his unique visual style. This marked the beginning of a successful directing career, with later films such as The Fisher King, 1991, and 12 Monkeys, 1995, solidifying his reputation for blending surrealism, dark comedy, and philosophical themes. Despite his critical acclaim, Gilliam faced numerous challenges throughout his career, particularly with studios and producers who were often at odds with his uncompromising vision. His work was often seen as too unconventional, and his films faced production delays and difficulties. Gilliam's personal life has been equally colorful. In 1973, he married Maggie Weston, a costume designer, and the couple had 3 children together: Amy Gilliam, Harry Gilliam, and Rosa Gilliam. Despite the pressures of balancing a demanding career in the film industry with family life, their marriage has endured, and they have maintained a close-knit family. However, Terry's career and creative ambitions often put strain on his personal life, and he has spoken candidly about the difficulty of maintaining stability while working in a notoriously volatile industry. Gilliam also experienced significant personal tragedies, including the loss of his close friend and fellow Monty Python member, Graham Chapman, to cancer in 1989. He was deeply affected by Chapman's death, having shared a close bond with him both professionally and personally. Another tragedy occurred during the chaotic production of The Man Who Killed Don Quixote, 2018, where Gilliam suffered a serious injury, exacerbating the already troubled production. Despite these setbacks, Gilliam's resilience has been a defining trait of his career. As of 2024, Terry Gilliam is 83 years old. He still remains active in the world of filmmaking and is highly regarded as a pioneer of absurdist cinema. His work continues to inspire new generations of filmmakers and artists. Though he has faced setbacks in his life and career, including ongoing struggles with the industry and personal losses, Gilliam has never stopped creating. Connie Booth, born on December 2, 1940, in Indianapolis, Indiana, USA, is best known for her role as Blue Nose in Monty Python's And Now for Something Completely Different, 1971, where she was 31 years old. Booth's involvement with Monty Python was just one of the highlights of her diverse career in comedy, acting, and writing. Her sharp wit and ability to deliver absurd humor made her a perfect fit for the Python team, and she became closely associated with their signature brand of surreal intellectual comedy. In addition to her role in Monty Python's And Now for Something Completely Different, Booth is widely known for her work alongside John Cleese in the sitcom Fawlty Towers, 1975 to 1979. Booth co-wrote the series with Cleese, and her portrayal of Polly Sherman, the long-suffering hotel maid, earned her widespread acclaim. Fawlty Towers is considered one of the greatest British sitcoms of all time, and Booth's contribution as both a writer and performer was integral to its success. Her chemistry with Cleese, both on-screen and off, helped elevate the series to iconic status. Booth's partnership with Cleese extended beyond Fawlty Towers. They were married in 1968, shortly before the filming of the show, but their marriage ended in divorce in 1978 after a decade-long union. Despite their split, the two continued to work together professionally, and Booth remained a close collaborator with Cleese, contributing to several of his later projects. They share one daughter, Cynthia Cleese, who, like her parents, went on to work in the entertainment industry. In her personal life, Booth has been described as private and relatively low-key, preferring to keep her personal relationships and activities away from the public eye. While she worked on various acting and writing projects over the years, she gradually moved away from the spotlight, choosing to focus on other pursuits. She made occasional television appearances and continued to write, though she was no longer as involved in the frenetic pace of the entertainment industry. One of the most notable challenges in Booth's life came with her divorce from Cleese, a public event that attracted much media attention at the time. Despite their separation, the two continued to share a professional relationship, and their work together on Fawlty Towers is still fondly remembered by fans today. Booth also faced a personal struggle when she decided to step away from acting, choosing to focus on her family and writing. She published a few books, including a novel and some essays which explored her experiences in the entertainment world. Today, Connie Booth is 83 years old. While she has remained largely out of the public eye in recent years, her legacy in British comedy endures. Who is your favorite character in the Monty Python's And Now for Something Completely Different? And what do you think when some of the actors pass away? Please leave your comments below this video. Don't forget to like, subscribe to the channel, and ring the bell to wait for my next videos. Thank you.